Welcome it is to Donegal.
Take the second hydrangea on the left.
Alright Jenny, what are we doing today?
We are going to visit the Donegal Yarns Mill.
Woohoo!
Or is it Studio Donegal Yarns?
Let's find
Mill.
out.
One or the other.
We're going to Donegal Yarns.
Yes.
And we are going to get a factory tour, which we've never had,
No,
which is
never had before.
amazing. Okay, but for this morning we are
Go for a walk.
taking in the scenery.
Yes.
And clearing away the cobwebs.
Yeah.
Because we met some lovely people in a lovely bar in Carrick.
Who know people that we know.
Who know people
and
that we
like,
know.
Just
Ireland
weirdly.
is small world.
Small.
Believe it or not, this is July.
With our warm
Well, it's not raining. It's
It's
not
not
raining.
raining.
It's not raining.
Well.
We'll take that in. All right, so let's show you some
Breezy.
scenery. Breezy. So believe it or not, Donegal Yarns is about there. At this point we did a little bit more scenery appreciating and quite a bit more pointing at where the mill was. Thanks Jackie for that. Let's zoom on in and you can see just down by the GAA pitch, right in the little nook of this inlet is where the mill is. Then it was time for a quick cup of tea, a little bit of a rest and an escape from the rain before we headed to the Studio Donegal Shop, which is an absolute treasure trove of textiles, woven textiles, hand knitting yarn, an ode to sheep, and just a wonderful space to wander and to take in all of the colours and the skill of the local artisans on display. And if you're lucky, you'll get to head on upstairs away from this main shop space and actually see the weaving take place. So this is one of their incredible floor looms, all warped up in absolutely gorgeous colours. There was a few on display and 2 people working on the day. This lovely lady showed us the loom in action, and what I didn't actually ask, and I should have, is actually how old that loom is, because you can see that it has seen a lot of love over the years, but is still going strong. They just don't make these things like they used to. And then it was on to the main event. So into the mill we go. They have a beautiful display space downstairs and a lovely meeting area upstairs where they show off all the different colours of fleece and flex that go into the tweed yarn that they're making throughout the factory. We met the wonderful Nora, who is their expert colourist, and wait until you see the magic that she can work. She knows all of these blends and can pull the exact mix of fleeces and the exact proportion of neps that are required. She's not even using hand carders here. She's just going to mix and blend the yarns through the power of her hands alone. I'll raise the audio here so that you can actually hear the process from the lady herself. And you're not using hand carders or anything like that, you just do it, yeah? Yeah.
Then I mix away again. And then I make a little wrapping with a little machine to see how the yarn is made before it's made at all.
Yeah.
Practice fingers, practice fingers.
That's incredible actually, look at that.
That's amazing.
Oh wow.
So each colour is done like that.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And the plain colours are all fleece.
Yeah.
No flex.
Yeah.
All the fleece. And green is the hardest colour to match.
Oh, there's too many types of
The
green.
song says 40 shades of green. Put it out there.
Oh yeah,
140 shades.
yeah, very true, very true.
Purple is my favourite colour.
And then it was on to the mill tour itself. We had an absolutely wonderful guide who took us through every step of the process, literally from the raw fleece through to the finished labelled product. You can see the cleaned fleece here being pre-wetted before dyeing. And as Jenny said, these are the dye pots of her dreams right there. And just the sheer scale on which they're doing things here is so impressive. You can see that this dye pot has to be heated, I believe, in one of these massive cauldrons, so it's a little bit of witchcraft happening in the mix too. And that dyed fleece has to go through one large conveyor oven, essentially, so you can actually see it coming out the other end here, and we were encouraged to have a little feel of the temperature of the fleece after it had gone through that process. But this is one of the unique characteristics of Donegal yarn, is that the fleece is dyed first. The yarn is not created and then dyed. It is a dyed in the wool yarn is how this is known. And I just had to capture this bale of fuchsia pink as we moved past it. Now this, my friends, was just one of the highlights of the whole tour, and it is the blending room. So all of those various different shades of fleece and flex, those really iconic Donegal flex, are being mixed together and I suppose aerated as well in this process. And we happily could have stayed there all day just watching that process. And the fleece gets passed through this huge machine, through all of these rollers. They had a clever little waste return device happening as well to make sure that absolutely everything got incorporated. And a lot of this machinery, I think they were telling us, from the youngest machine there is from 1979, so they do need quite a lot of repairs as they go. But this mill is lucky to have a long history and plenty of experts in keeping everything running smoothly. And for anyone who has ever taken a Mobius knitting class with me, this is a Mobius Band in action in the mill itself. The mill-worthy yarn that we use for the Mobius class is actually made, so I couldn't help but capture that too. So here is all that carded fleece, and it's getting laid out, ready to be divided, I believe is what this machine does. It divides it out into really thin strips of roving. And you will see he's telling us there, our guide, that there's no twist in it just yet. So it has to go through, it's all rolled onto these cakes. This is them changing over the bales here. And then these cakes of really, really thin pencil roving are then brought around and set up on these machines here, which is where the first actual bit of twist happens into the yarn. So they're making single plies, and then those single plies will be, again, twisted together depending on the nature of the finished yarn, and sometimes they're left to singles as well. And you can see the skeins and the hanks being tied off by hand. And then finally we see some of their lovely 50-gram balls being made up for sale. And just as we got to the very end of the tour, of course, what was called the next customer was spotted on the hillside outside, so it couldn't have been a more perfect way to wrap up what was a truly fantastic experience. And I'm not sure if they did this just for the day, the open day that was in it, but there were some mill ends for sale at the very end of the tour too. So if you find yourself up in Kilcar, County Donegal, you might find yourself with a bargain to take home with you as well. Later in the afternoon, there was a wonderful networking event and a panel talk where we could chat with Donegal designers, chat with the managers of the mill and the team that work in the mill too, and see some of the beautiful work from the local students and students from really further afield as well, because there was a special project from a fashion school in Milan featuring Irish Tweed too. So all in all, an absolutely fantastic afternoon, but I'll turn you over to our in-car recap on the way home on the road back to Dublin. It's fair to say we came back with absolutely renewed, fresh enthusiasm for everything that is achieved in this wonderful small town in the northwest of Ireland. So we are on the way back home after a long day up in Donegal, but a very worthwhile day. It was super. Huh?
I was not expecting it.
Jackie, what did you make of the day?
Yep, great day all round. Mind blown by the mill. I thought it was absolutely amazing. Like Jenny, I just want to go and stand in that room where all the fibre is raining down on me. It'd be lovely.
We would happily be left in there now and just close the door behind. We'd lay down on it, let the fibre rain down.
Let it rain. Let it rain. No, really, really good. Lots of informative stuff. The words aren't wording.
Those carding machines. Oh my god.
Massive carding machines.
Massive.
Yeah.
and just seeing like the whole process from start to finish is just really, really fascinating. And the mix, how Nora mixes the blends to make the colours.
Yes,
Is crazy.
yes.
Watch this space, another colour coming soon.
But it's the scale of the operation, it's the wonderful people working there, and their commitment to making such a wonderful quality product. So we'll be going back now with more knowledge to the shop and more like renewed enthusiasm for everything that's done up at Donegal. So
all the people that work there were super lovely as well.
Yeah,
They looked like
everybody was
they were
really
really
nice.
enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
It's a tight knit community.
Very tight. It was such a small little town
Yeah.
and like such a big
250
production.
inhabitants and 150 of them work in textiles.
Work in textiles.
It's amazing.
I think the rest must be kids.
100 children.
Oh God.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
training.
Yes, absolutely.
No, really good. Really enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and very glad that we went.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thanks to everybody in Donegal Yarns for hosting the day and for welcoming us to Kilcar.